One Team got some brand new updates and patches. We'll also go over some last minute signups, so you don't want to miss out on those. We'll go over an additional dev note and update that does cover some of the in-game resources. Additionally, we'll cover some new tools for the developers that might include a new ban system, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up world, it's Utopia back in for another video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Let's just jump right into it. First off here, yes, we do have those notable mentions on test and the test sign up. Now the first one here is a test that is ending, but we do have one that is beginning. So yes, the cross-platform test with the mobile devices and Once Human Mobile has now ended. However, you're still able to get those pre-registration rewards, so you do still have time to do so. But the mobile test has concluded, so you can delete those off your devices, especially if you did get it through test flight, as you more than likely need another copy of Once Human. I've already done so. Where next up, it should be available on the Apple Store or App Store or the Google Play Store. Again, that releases on April 23rd, so it is out very soon here. But even though one test is ending, we do have another one beginning. And yes, this one is for NA, Europe, and all other regions. They do have one going on in China, but we actually do get one here as well. That is the PvP demo test, which is for that new scenario. Now, there has been multiple translations for this, either Seeds of Trouble or Seeds of Chaos. I believe more than likely it will be called Seeds of Chaos. At least that sounds a little bit better to me. But we are getting that scenario basically as a global signup. What's really cool is that they are providing those same rewards that they did to the China client. We get those as well over here. So it does include Mitsuko marks, Avatar, Rainfall Reaper, and the name card Runaway Requiem. Really cool here. You can see those rewards here for that. They also do have a fully built-in FAQ here where you can check out all of that stuff, like the test start date, which is on April 9th. That's going to start at 7 p.m. PDT, which is Pacific time, or 9 p.m. CST. That will last all the way till the mobile launch, which it does come out on April 23rd. Now, they do mention this is a wipe test, that all progress will be deleted, that the access distribution will be via loading bay. So this is a loading bay only, but you can just download it just alongside the Steam client. Again, as they say here, for Steam players, even if you sign up via a Steam account, or if you sign up and you have a Steam account, you can still launch via the loading bay platform. More instructions on it down below, of course, if you want to check it out. I know people are going to ask, what about PvE? What about the new Endless Dream scenario? I've had a ton of details that actually did cover that in my last video with the dev recap stream. However, I'll recap some of the things here so you don't have to go to that one if you don't want to. But again, it is going to be a brand new PvE scenario. Seems like it's going to come out around the same time of the PvP one. Now, just like they did previously in the China version of the demo test, they actually did test the PvP scenario first and then the PvE one. Then they got to test both at the same time. So right now we're testing the PvP one. They're testing out both at the same time. So my thing is, I do believe these scenarios might come out at the same time. Not exactly sure. Maybe they just do launch alongside, or they could have the same launch cycle where PvP comes out first, then the PvE one drops, where you will be able to, of course, play both of those. But yes, we should, or at least it looks like we're going to be getting that PvE demo test, or PTR. From what I know, it seems like they're going to do that the same time or same way that they did the China one, which was a month afterward. So PvE players, I wouldn't fret too much. You might be getting a PTR here very soon in the next month or so. Speaking of both clients here, we actually did have some recent ban warnings and bannings. Now, they actually do these separately, so there was a fair play announcement for March 3rd to the 31st. And again, this was for the NA/EU client, where they have banned a total of 1,200 players. Now, some got full lifetime bans, others got 30 days, 7 days, 1 day, or even 2 hours. So a mixed batch in there. Again, if you did use any cheating software, you're essentially banned for life. They do come with 10-year bans, but again, more than likely that's going to be forever. One good thing about this is when they do ban a cheater, they actually do check any associated alt accounts, and they do ban those as well. That's a very good thing there. I like that they do that. They also did do a fair operation or fair play announcement over on the China client. They actually did ban even more players over there, which was 2,600. But there was something very interesting here. It seems they have now implemented a 24-hour monitoring system to detect abnormal behavior in the game in real time, and they're going to actively respond to players' reports. So it looks like they might have a new tooling system here to identify that, maybe some anti-cheat adjustments, but they also do have a nice monitoring tool, and it seems like they've even added some stuff there, where they might even do these much faster instead of just in waves. NetEase games have been really good about banning cheaters. They're very active in it in Fragpunk, Marvel Rivals, and a few others. So I do like how active they are. I love that they post these. Hope they continue to do so. Seems like they are very proactive on it overall. With the mentions coming from the devs, we actually do have a recent dev note here explaining the recent abnormal output of gold and silver mines, or essentially the ore. As they claim here, in the March 27th update, they adjusted the refresh mechanic of rare ores. Essentially, gold, silver, and stardust were actually supposed to be a lot easier to get. However, these were no longer refreshing after being collected. They have since fixed that problem, and as they mentioned, they also directly increased the refresh rate of gold and silver mines. Now, they do mention that some of these fixes will also be released in the April version at the latest. I do believe we're getting one more major patch before the mobile release, sometime in mid-April, so that might come with that. Speaking of updates, we actually did get a brand new patch here that just came out yesterday. They continue to label these the same version number, which is 1.4.4. Wish they would maybe change that, but again, it is the April 7th update, where they have fixed weapon switching from hazardous object, which caused unintended status, damage, and bullet recovery. They've also fixed the extra shots being fired with tap-to-fire, hammer, and compound bow. And as I went over in my previous video, they did finally add the option to toggle full auto for the Brahmi and critical pulse. Where yeah, you do have to reload the crossbow, but you can just hold down your trigger and it will continuously fire. Just like the pistol option. They fixed an issue with vehicles bouncing during wheelies. There was also an issue where vehicles were auto-accelerating after drifting into a resource. There was also some bosses and event fixes, one of those being a boss getting stuck in Securement Silo Delta. And they've also adjusted that Spectral Hunt, which now counts elimination assists, so you can now farm those in a group. World and visuals fix an overlay shadows in Monolith and Greed, and some incorrect birth point when changing seasons on active servers. There was also some UI and reward fixes, the mailbox China post skin was disappearing, and there was some unclaimable scenario challenge rewards in Prism vs Clash. So pretty decent overall there, and some nice changes and fixes. We do have some last minute mentionables here. This first one here is we are getting a new shop update. That's for the Aurora Hacker. That's going to be available in the shop sometime soon with a new theme pack. So again, not part of the Lightforge loot crates, but just in the shop normally, where you can obtain these outfits and a few other theming items. We also have another last minute mentionable here. There's a post on the subreddit saying, finally I received the Dragon package. People have been wondering where they got this plushie from. This has been shown off on several dev streams, but we've never had an official merch update, or if there is even going to be a merch store eventually. They did send out that survey a long time ago, so of course I do believe so. But someone did ask here, where did you get this? And they thought it was from Temu. But actually, this is straight from the developers themselves. Now, OP essentially got the top bug hunter reward in an event some time back, and this was the reward that they did receive, which is pretty crazy. This is very rare right now, as there isn't really a merch store or any way to purchase this or any way to even obtain this. So super cool to see one of these first. Of course, a lot of people really do want this plushie. Will be cool to see if they eventually do come up with a store or if they even have a merch section. Again, any more updates on that, I will let you guys know. Overall, though, it should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce!